Hey everyone, so for this week's eLearning Heroes Challenge, it is a challenge where you can choose your own topic. So for this week, I chose to do more of a sciencey theme, and I wanted to utilize JavaScript to subtly gamify your background images in Articulate Storyline. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I did. There's a lot that can be improved on in this version, but I wanted to show you. So I've created a quiz where when you select answers, the background changes depending on how you select an answer. So it's not the prettiest quiz right now, but I'm planning on cleaning it up a little bit. And what you could do is, okay, so you got the wrong answer. So as you can see, when you get the wrong answer, more of these little microbacteria virus things pop up on the screen. So it's just kind of a cool way to give feedback and gamify this a little bit. So if I get it correct, it doesn't show anything. And something that I might want to do is build on this. So if someone gets a question correct and another question correct and then a question incorrect, I might only want to show one of these. Right now I have it set so that it just builds on incorrect, and even if you get a ton correct, you'll get a lot of these microbes later on. So you'll see you get a ton more because you got that question incorrect, and then you just have the results slide. So there's a bunch of different things we could do with this. We could make it so that the microbes show up because when you get the questions correct, because maybe you're doing a science experiment and that's what you want to happen. So there's a lot of things that you could do, and I want to show you guys how I did this. So if you open up Storyline, you can build your own freeform quiz, and that's what I've done here. So when you go to insert a new slide, so right click new slide, what I did was I went to the freeform quizzing questions here, and I did the pick one. You can also do pick many, so they can select more than one, and there's a bunch of other options as well, but I just did pick one. So you'll see in the pick one, initially I set the background to execute some JavaScript. So that's just to have my starting image. So if we double click on that and open up the script here, it goes when the timeline starts. So I'm setting the document's body background to this image0.png, and I'm telling it to cover the entire slide there. So this is the line of code that you're going to want to use, and you can use it on different types of triggers. It doesn't have to be just when the timeline starts. But I'll share that with you guys. And then the other piece of this that I did was when you get a question incorrect, it's also going to execute the JavaScript to reset the background to a different image. So if you see here, you can see if it's correct, nothing really happens. It just goes to the next slide. But if it's incorrect, I have it executing to a whole different image. So this image is going to be just image.png. And so you're like probably wondering, where are these images at? So I created these images and they're sitting on my desktop, but what you want to do after you publish your file, you want to place those images into your published file, because if you put them in and then publish again, they're going to be written over. So what you want to do is you can take a look at some of these that I created. So I got these little microbes from freepik.com, and then I created my own pipette and my own little petri dish here. And then I just put a gradient on the background, so you can see I have different versions of these, and I just have them living on my desktop and placed them in here once I had the file published. So let's take a look at some of the other slides too. As you can see, just the same type of thing. There's some things that I might change so the buttons don't really stand out against the background. I had the background, the opacity of those images is very low so that you can see the buttons better, but I would still make these pop a little bit more and maybe make the background a little bit lighter. Another thing that you might want to look at in the JavaScript is you can change this. You can get very intricate with this and create your own sort of equation here that says based on variables that you create, what you want to show. So maybe I want to say, I want to tie variables to if they get the questions right or wrong, and then I can say, if this variable is this, then I want to show this image. So that's something that you can also play around with. There's a ton of different possibilities with this. So what I'll go ahead and do is share the script with you guys, and you can play around with it, and hopefully that'll be helpful on some of your projects too.